We've been looking at the Diablillos project for many years now. As some of our investors may know, we have invested as passive investors into Diablillos through Rodinia from time to time over the past 5 years. And in fact, personally, I was involved in helping the company acquire the Diablillos project from Rio Tinto when it acquired those projects back in 2010. So our level of knowledge and comfort with the project was already pretty high. We've obviously been monitoring the overall lithium space as well as the company's progress, and we felt that this was the right time to essentially privatize the asset so that we could unlock value within Aberdeen. The lithium market's one of the more exciting subsegments of the commodities market because despite the global slowdown that we've really been experiencing since 2011, lithium prices have remained robust and in fact continue to rise. So, for example, in September, just about a month ago, one of the largest lithium producers increased its prices by 15% on the basis that there was supply and demand supported higher prices, and we expect the rest of the industry to follow suit if they haven't already. So the reason why lithium prices have been so robust has been that there is a lot of growth in the lithium battery market right now. Lithium, the largest growth segment of the lithium market is in electric batteries. And obviously, we're using lithium-ion batteries in all sorts of small electronic devices, and that market is still growing. And then over and above that, potentially the more exciting side of the market is going to be the electric vehicle market, where vehicles like Tesla, although right now very small in terms of sales, are growing. There's an adoption of the technology going on slowly, and we expect that to grow a bit like a snowball over the next 10 years. So, and of course, these larger batteries to power vehicles like cars need far more lithium than one for your phone. So, we expect lithium demand to be very robust over the next decade. The other interesting thing to keep in mind is that when you actually look at the price of a battery itself, the lithium component of that is very small part of the overall price of a battery, of the cost of its components, because there's lots of other stuff in there to make the electric current. So we don't think that substantial increases in the lithium price are really going to have a big effect on battery consumption going forward, which is great for us as a future producer. Some of you will recall that we talked about a new investment strategy where we're focused on making larger investments in resource assets that we can control and that are exclusive to Aberdeen. So the Diablillos acquisition from Rodinia really fits that model perfectly. We will essentially operate this as a second part of our principal investments program, the other one being African Thunder, and really spend the next year or so unlocking value within Aberdeen before we look at other options for further development. When we look at our overall sort of portfolio of exposure to commodities, while we look at the project on its own merits as the first priority, we do recognize, and I do like the fact that the lithium market seems to be able to rise without the the overall commodities increasing in price that we saw perhaps in the last decade. The rising tide lifts all boats effect We don't seem to need that for lithium, and the reason being is that there's some really interesting and unique fundamental growth going on in the lithium market. In particular through the rapid increase of battery consumption, and it also fits our theme of global government regulation that is going to essentially force companies and consumers to adopt more environmental technology, whether that be loading more platinum palladium in traditional gasoline-powered vehicles, or using electric vehicles in the future, which are going to consume massive amounts of lithium in their battery packs.